under digital transformation in release 24, Oracle have delivered these 6 enhancements. Some of them are small, some of them are bigger. Let's go through each of them and we'll see how they look. So the first enhancement they've delivered is enhancements to the workflow monitor. There always was a workflow monitor within JDE, but they've enhanced it so that they've added various things to it to make it more easier to use, plus additional information. So, for example, if I take a look at this workflow monitor, I can see here, I can look at the workflow for a specific originator, for example, or for all originators. Let me put a star in there, and you can see. So this is what you can see. And you can set a date range for what you want to look at. You can set a specific process. So you might want to look only at bank details, for example, or you might have various other workflows that you want to monitor. And then, of course, you can pick which ones you want to look at, all of them, which ones are active, etc., etc. There's a little summary up here showing you how many of what are going on there. Also, if I go to the process, bank detail process here, for example, I can see that there are 4 jobs here because I'm looking at all of them. One has been terminated, one is in error, one is active, and 1 or 2 are active. And here on the right, I've got the option of suspending this particular workflow process or even terminating it. Maybe it's got stuck or maybe nobody wants it anymore or whatever the case is. So you've got those choices from here. And also, if we look inside, we've got a graph. This graph is actually showing how long this workflow has been going on. So it's been stuck in this particular step of the workflow. It came in on the 11th of March, and it's still there. It's still stuck in there. And if we scroll down further, we can see the details. We can see that Thiele here has approved this this particular these bank details, for example, here, but we're still waiting for Michelle to approve them. Now, we might decide, well, actually, Michelle's gone on leave or whatever the case is. So from here, we can actually reassign. Michelle himself, if Michelle logged in, he would be able to reassign himself. But seeing as he's not logged in, I'm the admin person and I can reassign this. So I'm going to reassign it to, let's go to 1004, for example. And I'm reassigning it to, let's find a user that exists. Okay, let's reassign it to Ben Long. And there we go. Now, if I go to take a look at it again, I will see that it's actually waiting now for Ben Long to do something with it. So you can get lots more information from the workflow monitor and understand where your workflows are, what's got stuck, who it's waiting for, and so on, and then take appropriate actions. So that is the workflow monitor. The next enhancement that was delivered is this output stream access for orchestrations. So OSA is a file type that you can now define as part of your output when you set up an orchestration. So the same as CSV or PDF or XML or whatever, you can now define OSA as your output instead. Task tracking is really nice. So what this gives us is the ability to track tasks. Now, what I'll do is I'll just go and show you in the orchestrator, first of all, how this has been set up. So I've got a notification here that gets people to verify their home address, okay, or verify the home address. So within the verify home address, first of all, in the message, there's an action here that I've linked to an application. So the application takes you to the address book to do the verification. Now, where that application link is, you will find this button here, task tracking. And if you click that, you can switch on task tracking. And then what you can do is you can say, right, I want to track when it's in process, when it's complete. Maybe I want to track approved, whatever the status is that I want to track, rejected, sent, whatever the status I want to track here. Just note that these statuses are all user defined. So these are the ones that are delivered, but you can change them as you please. So once I've set up that task tracking, when I go to set up my message, for example, I've got my link here to the address book, but I've added 2 more links, one for in process, where it's in process, and one for completed. And I can associate this task tracking with notifications, with workflows, with orchestrations, and so on. So it's all nicely set up. And then once I've got it, it tracks it in this task tracking screen here. So here I'm looking only at open tasks, but I can take that away and show all tasks here. And if I drill down into here, I can see all the people that have done their bit within this particular task. So there's the task tracking ID, that's the description, and so on. And so you can track exactly where this task is sitting at the moment. So very nice for your workflows and for making sure that people are doing what they want to do. And when you, with that task tracking, when you come, for example, to a notification here, you have the option there. You see when you verify your home address, of course, when you get an email, it will have the links to the in process, to the completed, and of course to our original address book application, but also not only from email, which I don't have set up on this internal system, you can do it from here. So I can say, okay, it's now completed, for example. And that particular task is now completed. So that's the task tracking enhancement. Okay, this is a very simple enhancement, this one. It's, when you output a file, a CSV file, it always outputted it with a comma, CSV comma separated file in any case. But now you've got a choice when you output the file as to what the delimiter must be. Defaults to comma, but you can decide which one you want it to be. Oh, this is a nice one. This notification reminders is a nice enhancement. So basically, again, if we take a look at that verify home address, you will notice up at the top here, there's this flag here on the message to set a reminder. So you can actually enable reminders here on the notification, and you can set the reminder to remind in 3 days or to use a date variable. Let's say I want to set this to remind me in 5 days. Okay. And I've got that now set. I'll save it. I'll just run a test on this particular one. Okay. So you'll see here in my notifications, first of all, just quickly show you again, I set a reminder on this verify home address notification to say, notify me in 5 days, a notification in 5 days, a reminder in 5 days. I then saved it, and then I ran a test. So I'll just run that test again, doesn't take a minute. Excuse me. So I've run the test, so I should get that notification now. And if I just refresh my notifications here it is. Here's my notification. And there's my, it's telling me that it's due in 5 days' time. Here's the red one I was talking about, saying you should have actioned this particular notification long ago. And here's the yellow one saying, actually, this one is due today, so perhaps you should be doing that now. this one isn't due yet. But once I've done it, once I've actually actioned it, I have the option of clearing it over here. Okay? I also have the option, while I'm here, of setting my own notification. So I can say, well, actually, let's say, for example, let's go to this one here. This one, maybe it doesn't have a notification at this stage. I can go in and I can set my own to say, notify me today, tomorrow, in a week's time, or any custom date that I want, remind me on a specific date. So that is the notification. Another enhancement that has been that Oracle have delivered are these pre-built workflow data structures. So, you know, when you do a workflow, you send the data into the workflow. First of all, you need to send a key in, which defines the record that you're looking at. It might be, for example, on bank statements, it might be the address book key. On bank accounts, address book might be the key. And you also need to send any additional information backwards and forwards that you need for this workflow, and that goes into the additional data. So these data flows used to have to be created on the flat client. The data structures, at least, they now can be created in the web, on the web, within Web ONW. But what Oracle have delivered are two generic data structures, one for the key, one for the additional data that you can use in any workflow you like. You can copy these and modify them to what you want them to be, or you can use them as is and just send information or use information that you need. They're quite generic. And with this enhancement, they've also provided a pre-built sample of a generic approval workflow for you to be able to use so that we can get started. These are, I mean, you can use them as they are, absolutely, but really they're designed to be, to give you a kickstart, especially this data structure, the workflow here, generic approval workflow. It's designed to give you a kickstart so that you can actually use this within your, to do approvals within your organization, get your workflows going.